Welcome to the Girl Means Business podcast. I'm your host, Kendra Swalls, a former teacher turned entrepreneur, here to help you navigate the messiness of mom life and biz life. Each week, my guest and I will share our experiences, insights, and tips to help you move your business from survival mode to success mode. So grab your favorite drink and let's dive in, because this girl means business. Hey there, and welcome to episode 194 of the Girl Means Business podcast. The next few weeks, because it's holiday season, I know that you are busy. You have a lot going on, whether it is holiday parties at school, finishing up your Christmas shopping, or maybe just trying to get a few last precious moments of peace and quiet before the kids are out of school for 2 whole weeks or 3 weeks, however long your schools are out for. I totally get it. I'm probably doing the exact same thing. So what I want to do for the next 2 episodes of this podcast is I'm going to keep them very short, very sweet, and really quick little bits of information you can consume and then continue on with your day, because we're all busy. So this week, what I really want to talk about is goal setting. As we head into the beginning of the new year, I always like to have my goals for the next year done and ready to go before the holiday craziness, because I don't want to jump into January and not really have a plan for what I'm doing in my life or my business. So what I want to do today is go over 4 quick tips for how to create goals that you will actually accomplish in the new year. Because there are a couple of things you can do that will help set you up for success when it comes to creating goals in your business. So number 1 is be very specific. I see a lot of people, and I have this happen with my coaching clients when we start talking about goal setting or creating a strategy for their business, is they'll say, well, I want to make more money, or I want to grow my following, or I want to book more clients. And those are great goals to have, but they're too broad. You need to get really specific. So instead of saying, I want to make more money, put an actual value to it, whether it's a percentage or an actual number. I want to make an extra $20,000 this year, or I want to make an extra $500 a month, or I want to grow my income by 15%. Put some kind of actual number to it or percentage to it. Be specific. If you want to grow your following on social media, or maybe you want to branch out, one of your goals is I want to branch out into more platforms, then be specific. Say, I want to post 2 videos a month to YouTube, and I want to be posting 3 times a week on LinkedIn, or I want to be pinning X number of pins per month on Pinterest. The more specific you can get, the more likely you are to accomplish it, because you have a very clear view of what it is you're working towards. It would be like going on a road trip and saying, I want to go somewhere out west, but not really having a destination to go to. You're just going to end up driving randomly, aimlessly, and you probably won't end up where you really wanted to go. So having a clear destination for your goal can help you map out a plan for how to get there. You know, you can say, I want to post 2 videos a month on YouTube. And then you can work backwards and say, okay, in order to do that, I'm going to batch create my content 4 videos at a time, so that I'm working at 2 months ahead, so that I don't get behind and stop posting because I get overwhelmed. Or I'm going to create a schedule, and these are the topics I'm going to talk about. You can really get down to the nitty-gritty of how are you going to accomplish that goal when your goal is actually specific. Tip number 2 kind of ties into number 1, and that is to make your goal measurable. If you are creating a goal, you are working towards something, then it's super helpful to be able to see and track your progress. Again, I'm going to use the same road trip analogy because I think it fits really well here. If you are saying, I am going to drive to San Francisco, and you have a path and you have a plan, this is the path I'm going to follow to get there. And you are saying, okay, it is, I'm just going to throw out a number. It is 800 miles away. So we're going to drive 400 miles each day for 2 days to get to our destination. That is a measurable goal. You can measure how far you've gone. You can create checkpoints to go, okay, we've reached this point by this time in the day, so I know that we're going to reach the next point by this time in the day. You are able to track your progress. The same applies for your goals. You want to have checkpoints. You want to have something that you are doing to track how you are moving towards your goal. So if you go back to step one, which is create these goals that are very specific, and you're saying to yourself, okay, I want to grow my following by 1,200 followers this year. So that means I need to add 100 new followers per month on average. That is measurable. So you can go and say, okay, what can I do in January to get 100 new followers? Okay, well, maybe I have some kind of, giveaway or promotion, or maybe I'm going to create 3 reels every single week for those 4 weeks and get a lot of exposure. And those are checkpoints you can check off and go, okay, I did 3 reels for every single week. I did a giveaway, and track how many followers you've gained for that month to say, you know what? I'm actually gaining 150 followers per month. So I'm going to move my goal forward a little bit because my progress is more than I expected. But if you didn't have some way to track and measure your progress, measure how far you're coming, then you're just kind of throwing darts out there hoping that something is landing, and you don't actually know if you're getting any closer to where you want to be. And there are some things that are easier to measure than others, but everything can be measured in some way, whether it is keeping track on a spreadsheet and numbers and finances, or maybe you're like, I want to meditate for 5 minutes every single day. So you create a calendar and you put stickers or check marks, or you fill a jar with marbles and you're like, I will put a marble in for each day that I meditate or each time I work out. And once that jar is full, then I will reward myself in some way. There are always ways to track your progress and to measure how far you're coming. So find a way that works for you and matches the goal that you have set for yourself. So number 1 is be specific. Number 2 is make it measurable. Number 3 is to create goals that are realistic, but also push you to go outside of your comfort level a little bit. So this is kind of going back to the idea of the Goldilocks kind of mentality of, you don't want something that is too easy, but you don't want something that's too hard. You want to find that perfect little spot in the middle where it's a challenging enough goal that you're going to have to push yourself beyond what you've already done, but it's not so far-fetched that it's impossible. So an example I like to give is you could say, okay, if I'm currently making $50,000 a year, it's not realistic for me to say, I am going to bump up to $500,000 a year. That's not unrealistic, but it's a very lofty goal. To go from $50,000 a year to $500,000 a year, it would take a lot of extra work. But if you said, I want to go from $50,000 a year to $75,000 or $50,000 to even $100,000, that's realistic. It's attainable. But to say, I want to go from 50 to 55, that's not enough. So you have to figure out, what is that sweet spot in between? What feels attainable, but also a little bit scary? Because you want your goals to be a little bit scary. You want them to be something that's going to challenge you. Otherwise, you're going to stay in the same place for year after year after year. So if you have gotten to $50,000 a year and you say, I want to get to 75, that's very attainable. It's very doable. It's going to make you work hard. You're going to have to get outside your comfort zone. You're going to have to be a little more strategic and expand what you've been doing in your business, but it's very, very possible to do. On the flip side, what I see people doing is, out of fear, they don't set goals that are challenging enough. So they say, okay, well, I'm doing really good where I am at, and I know I should set a goal to be a little further, but I'm just going to go like 1 step further, because the idea of 5 steps further or 10 steps further is too scary. If you set a goal that's too easy to accomplish, you're not challenging yourself. You're not really putting yourself out there to see this incredible growth. And so I always say I would rather set a goal that feels just a little bit too big, maybe not too big. I would rather set a goal that feels a little bit scary and really bust my butt to make it happen than to set one that is like, I know I could probably add another $5,000 to my income for the year. So I'm just going to put on my goal so that I can have one thing I feel like I can check off. But that's not really benefiting you. The whole purpose of setting goals is to challenge yourself and to grow beyond what you feel like you're really capable of doing. And if you set goals that are too easy to accomplish, you're not going to do that. You're only hurting yourself and your business. So create goals that are realistic, that you can accomplish, but that feel a little bit scary, and push yourself to really, really accomplish those goals and create the plan to get you there. So tip number 4 is part of the plan to help you accomplish your goals, and that is to keep your goals visible. A lot of times we write our goals down in a notebook and we stick them on a shelf, and then we kind of forget about them and we don't come back to them until maybe like a few months in or even till the end of the year. And it's just one thing, we've kind of written something down and moved on. But if you've created these goals and you've created a plan for these goals, keep them somewhere visible so that you have a reminder of what it is that you're working towards. One of the things I like to do is I have a Mac desktop. I have this little stickies app. I create a sticky, like a little sticky note on my home screen, and I write my goals out on that sticky note, and it just lives on my home screen. I've even one year I made it part of my screen, like background on my computer, and I had my goals, like just sort of a, not like the whole plan, but I had like my top 4 goals written out as a reminder of like, oh yeah, this is what I'm working towards. And so everything I'm doing in my business on a regular basis, I'm looking at those goals saying, does this help me get closer to those goals? And it's not something that I come up at the end of the year and go, oh crap, I forgot to do that one, or I forgot to work towards that one. I feel like I have a reminder on a regular basis of what it is I'm working towards. So you can put these on your phone, on a bulletin board, on a sticky note somewhere, but make them something that is visible so that you have a reminder of what it is that you're doing, because your goals should be what drives you in all aspects of your life and your business to work towards those things. Whether it is a financial goal, a marketing goal, a personal goal, having that visual reminder is going to help you stay focused throughout the entire year. So real quick recap. Number 1 is be specific. Don't create these goals that are just real general. Get as specific as possible and create a plan, a specific plan of how you're going to accomplish those goals. Number 2 is make it measurable. Find a way to track your progress so that you can see how you're doing and the progress you're making towards your goal, whether you need to ramp up your efforts or expand your goal throughout the year. Number 3 is be realistic, but still challenge yourself. Create goals that feel obtainable, but also a little bit scary. And then number 4 is write them down and keep them somewhere where they are visible so that you have a constant reminder of what it is that you are working towards. So hopefully that helps you prepare for 2023, going into the new year, creating goals that are going to feel accomplishable and obtainable in your business, and they're going to help you grow your business or feel like you are becoming the person that you want to be. If you want help or accountability for keeping up with your goals, feel free to head over to Instagram, send me a DM, or I have a post that I've shared all about goal setting. You can go and comment on that post, but let me know what some of your goals are and how I can help you accomplish them in the new year. All right, guys, have a great week, and I will talk to you soon. Thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you enjoyed the conversation as much as I did. And as always, you can find any links or resources mentioned in today's show down in the show notes. And if we're not friends outside the podcast yet, then what are you waiting for? Come find me on Instagram at Girl Means Business and send me a DM letting me know what you thought of today's episode or any of the past episodes you've listened to. You can also take a screenshot of today's episode and post it to your stories, tagging at Girl Means Business, and I'll give you a shout out on my page. I love connecting with you and hearing all about your business and can't wait to get to know you more. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I will meet you back here next week, same time, same place.